Vernarelli. Welcome to Inside Harford County, a program where we sit down with our community leaders and discuss the issues important to the citizens of Harford County. Wednesday, January the 3rd already, and we're airing tonight live from the Harford TV studio. You can give us a call and join our discussion at 410-638-3894. Agriculture is what we're talking about tonight. It's a vital industry, has been a vital industry in Harford County since the county's founding 250 years ago, generating jobs and economic activity, providing homegrown food, of course, and other products for consumers here in Harford County and beyond. And joining us tonight to talk about the many faces and facets of agriculture are County Executive Bob Cassilly and Alyssia Jeffries, the Agricultural Economic Development Associate. Welcome to the show, both of you. It's great to have you here, Alyssia. We can't wait to hear your story. And sir, thanks for coming back, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, Mark, and to all the crew here at Inside Harford. It's great to be here, and I just want to thank you all you especially for this past year of broadcasting. They were very informative to the citizens of Harford County, and I look forward to another great year of continuing these interviews. And so just Happy New Year, and let's roll with another great year for the citizens.
Well, we appreciate your being so accessible. It's great for the citizens to be able to see you. And I'm thrilled, I got to tell you, to hear that the economy in Harford County is still the number one thing is agriculture. And I would not have guessed that. I would have thought maybe it had been supplanted by now. But I'm going to let you, Alyssia, talk more about that in a minute. But you have a farming background in your family, so I know this is very close to your heart.
Well, I mean, my family's longtime Harford County folks, and so obviously you were in agriculture or you were in nothing. But I was born onto a farm, but my father's farm was quickly taken over by the construction of the Kennedy Highway. So I have very early memories of being a kid on the back of the tractor with my dad. But for most of my life, had the pleasure of working on the farms of family and friends, and not as a family farm. But yeah, it's been a rich part of my family, and I'm really proud as a county executive to continue to support the agricultural industry, our farmers across Harford County. So it's been good.
Alyssia, you have the coolest job, and I want to hear about that. But first, talk a little bit about the economic impact. It's the number one in the economy, and does that give you pride in what you do, knowing that this is an important thing in the economy?
Absolutely. When our farms do well here in the county, it has a cascade effect. It trickles down to all aspects of our community. It provides us food security. It provides a cleaner, healthier environment for all who live in it. It provides open space, fresh air, and a clean watershed.
The economic impact, you're a dollars and cents guy. You have to be because of the budget. How big is farming? It's huge, isn't it?
So we're well down from where we were in the early 1900s on the number of farms. Obviously, as the population has grown, and we've moved a lot of our folks out of agriculture, but we still have 625 very active farms, which represents about 3,100 jobs in Harford County, and the gross domestic product from ag was over $760 million in the latest figures that we've got. So it's still a very viable industry, and I think we've got a great story to tell in what our farmers are doing to sustain agriculture as a big part of our economy.
And now we have a full-time person, that would be you, who's focused completely on agriculture. Yes. What's your day-to-day job like? What do you do when you go into the office?
Oh my goodness, I never know what my day is going to look like. I can show up at a farm and there could be 30 emus, or I could show up at a hydroponics farm where they're growing basil in nothing but water and nutrients that they add to the water. It's absolutely incredible, the different things that I get to experience and the different people that I get to meet. They are so innovative and such good problem solvers, and it makes my job, I never get bored. It makes it so interesting for me.
And the innovation it must be mind-blowing. I think to the days back with the canneries. We had so many canneries in the county, and it's amazing. Yes. And now it's kind of moved to more high tech.
That's right.
And how has that impacted the industry? Is it really all high tech, or is it still has a blend of old school stuff?
I would say there's definitely a blend. There are some farms that are so incredible. They still believe in getting their hands dirty, and the hands are connected to the heart. So producing, it comes from the heart. And whether they choose to do it more technologically advanced or with their hands, either way, they're wanting to share these goods and the beauty of their land with the local community, and I just think that's what's wonderful about farmers.
Yeah, that's great. What's the bigger picture of the county supporting agriculture, and how do we go about doing that?
Well, look, I guess for starters, we brought in Alyssia. You know, before I came into office and going throughout the north end of the county and throughout the county talking to our farmers, I realized how important a role the government actually does play in supporting our farmers. So I was very delighted to be able to bring on our first full-time agricultural advisor, and Alyssa's been the perfect fit for that. I get lots of praise from the ag community for having brought in somebody whose heart's in it and who's in it for the farmers and works day to day really to support them. But look, you know, as we look at it, I mean, it's really a multifaceted approach. We're looking at, you know, educating the young farmers and how our programs at North Harford High School, an award-winning program, our 4-H programs, and educating the community about agriculture, and we do that through particularly our farm fair and bringing the folks in. We also push hard on our marketing our locally grown products. So we've got a great number of between the farmers markets throughout the county, and then the markets throughout the county on the farms. So, but we spend a lot of time marketing those locally grown farms, and so supporting all the agribusiness. And also through agricultural preservation. You know, it's not an accident that we still have this many number of active farms. The county's put a lot of effort into supporting agricultural preservation, preserving the working farms so that they don't fall to development, and buying up the development rights on our good agricultural land so that it remains in agriculture and it doesn't become all houses.
And how does the preservation program work? If somebody approaches you and says, I want to make sure that houses never grow on this land, where do you guide them to, and what do you do with them?
Sure. So it's a competitive application, and it's based on a point system. And you're awarded points, your land is awarded points based on different aspects such as soil classifications, woodland versus cropland, the location of your acreage, the total number of acreage that you'd like to put in preservation, and then it's decided by the Agricultural Preservation Advisory Board, who is awarded for that year, who's awarded the funding to put their land into preservation.
And it's worked very well.
Yeah, it has. I mean, I'll add in that this protects the farms forever. We buy up the development rights from the farmers, so it's a volunteer program where the county comes in and buys up the development rights to preserve the farm. And we've preserved, for this year, my first year of my administration, we've added 2,000 new acres to the program. So now we're at a total of 62,000 acres of farmland that's preserved in perpetuity, that will remain active farmland for the future generations of farmers who want to come in. We'll have land available for them to actually farm.
I love our fair, and I love the fact that it's still called the Harford County Farm Fair.
That's right.
And this year, more so than ever, it's back to a farm fair because there's been some changes. Alyssia, you want to talk about that a little bit as far as it being now really agricultural oriented completely?
Sure, absolutely. So there's no longer a carnival, which we got a lot of positive feedback about. It was the theme was back to our roots. So we were looking at focusing on families, on the animals, and on the children being able to showcase their animals that they've worked so hard all summer to bring up and to raise. And Bob, Mr. Cassilly can talk a little more about that as well.
Yeah, and I agree. We got great feedback on it. You know, in the past we included a carnival. Actually, the organizers included a carnival, but you bring a crowd that's almost too big for fun, right? So by making the back to the roots really just emphasize the ag piece of that, and the kids, the 4-H kids, showing their wares, showing their animals. So it made, folks were able to park on site, and we really was geared more towards teaching the entire county about our agricultural heritage, but what farmers are doing and the benefits, because when we do the agricultural preservation efforts, everybody pays for that. It's important that they understand why they're paying for it, right? Why are we taking some of your tax dollars and putting into agricultural preservation, well, we can show them this is why, this is what you're benefiting from it. So it was a great effort, and local vendors of all kinds in there, and so I'm hoping we can continue in that vein, because it really was a great opportunity for folks to come out and experience the best of our agricultural community, especially the young kids. The 4-H, our 4-H'ers are fantastic. They do a great job.
It's a lot of fun to see the effort that their heart and soul gets put into these animals.
Yeah.
We have an ag center too.
Yes.
A lot of people may not realize that. Talk about that a little bit. What is that all about?
Sure. Our ag center is located in Street, and I work out of the ag center. And it is a location, it was created to be a one-stop shop for the agricultural community. So under our roof, we house myself as well as Farm Bureau. And Farm Bureau they support and promote legislation for different agricultural issues in our county. We also have soil conservation, which provides financial and technical assistance for conservation practices on farms. And we have University of Maryland Extension, which provides education and outreach to the agricultural community as well as the local surrounding community.
And the public can come. It's open to the public.
Yes.
People can stop by anytime, right?
Absolutely.
They might even catch a glimpse of you if you're not out on a farm
They
that
may,
day.
yes, absolutely. And yeah, we have some events that happen there. And if people are interested in learning more about the 4-H programs, the 4-H 4-H is run through University of Maryland Extension, and there are a lot of events that happen through 4-H at the Agricultural Center, and you do not have to be a farmer in order to be a member of 4-H, so it's definitely something worth looking into.
Sir, you touched on North Harford. I always think of that as the farm school in terms of the agricultural programs that they have. How else do we, introduce farming to the next generation, so to speak?
Well, I have to give a lot of credit to the farmers themselves. What a great community that sells themselves. They're out and about at all times, and they're the friendliest industry we possibly have, and so they really sell themselves. But beyond that, we as the county government, one of our great tools is the magazine we put out, Homegrown Harford, which is an annual publication by the county government. Folks can get that either hard copy or online, and it highlights our local farms and the amazing innovations that they're doing to keep agriculture alive. I mean, we have a farm in Whitehall that's using drones to increase crop yields and to cut costs. We have a hydroponics farm in Churchville that's growing fruits and vegetables without dirt, and to use a system of continuously flowing water to do that. It's environmentally friendly. But you get out to these farms, and the farmers are available, and you see them at the farmers markets, and they sell themselves to the community, and so it's just such a fun industry to be able to support and be a part of, and I delight in going around to the farmers with Alyssia and meeting with farmers and talking about their challenges, their opportunities, and their ideas, because they really do set the way for us. And we do have an ag advisory board that Alyssia mentioned, which includes pretty much every type of agriculture in the county, and those folks are great at helping us sell the industry as well throughout the county.
And Alyssia, I would imagine that going out to the farms is the best part of the job, isn't it?
Absolutely.
What's the most interesting thing you can think of recently that you've seen at a farm? Something maybe that either surprised you or impressed you?
Oh, wow. Well,
probably a lot of things.
So recently, the county executive and I were at a farm. We were honoring them for 100 years in business, and there was a calf that had been born 3 months premature. It was only 30 pounds, and I ended up carrying the calf around because it was too tired to stand anymore. But just
oh my
the
goodness.
kind of things you encounter.
That's a small calf.
It's incredible.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness,
But it's just absolutely incredible the different ways that people solve problems in our community. There are farms with only maybe 5 to 10 acres of land, and they have to use that land to make a profit, and they find ways to do it. They use hydroponics. They come up with different agritourism activities that they could invite the public there to share with the public. So it's pretty incredible, the things that I learn from these people. They're
sure.
very inspirational.
Back to the money for a minute, sir. It's always got to be a money question, but what do we do to help farmers? What's the best source of money that we can turn farmers toward when they have a need or when they're trying to grow and they're trying to take the next step?
Yes, I mean, look, Alyssa's state programs and federal programs obviously are the top of the line for her, but for what she does. But we also offer, the county itself offers a loan program to assist farmers, particularly the younger farmers, in getting started and making some of their key purchases. You know, we try to stand behind them in any fashion we got. But these low interest loans, I think, are particularly helpful in helping to move them along.
Alyssia, how do you stay in touch with the trends? You talked a little bit earlier about how things have changed so much, and how do you stay in touch with it? Do you do a lot of research? Do you talk to other states, farmers in other states, or cooperatives, or how do you keep up with this stuff?
So I think that the best way that I do that is by meeting with the farmers out in our community and just learning. They know, what's up and coming, and they know what the next thing down the pike is going to be. They know what the next issue is going to be in this community, and they're very informed. They're very, very smart people. They're great business people. And then also I meet with other people within my same role in other counties. I meet with them regularly to have lunch and just to go over the issues maybe that they're experiencing in their county. Maybe they know something that's coming that I'm not aware of, or I can share with them some things. So we like to work together. We like to bounce ideas off of each other, and we like to share our ideas with one another.
In your high stress job, you're out on the highway, you're on 95, you're coming from a meeting out of state. You probably take heart in the fact that you look off both sides of the highway. You can easily see that we are still agricultural, and it's not just a line of skyscrapers between Elkton and Joppatown or whatever.
Yeah.
You see the farming from the road even.
Oh, absolutely. And you go across the north end. We still have a lot of ag land up there, and it's very actively farmed by a lot of very capable people. I like to say there are no dumb farmers. They went into business years ago. You walk onto a farm these days, and you're just as likely to see a farmer programming a computer or collecting, genetic testing materials and the like. I was at a farm fair and talking to some of the kids, and one young lady, I said, so, what do you do when you're not here mucking the stall? And she said, well, I'm a nuclear physicist. And I said, no, really, what do you do? And she says, I'm really a nuclear physicist. I said, well, what do you do? She said, I'm home for my vacation for a week, and I'm here helping the family farm out at the fair. So, these are smart, sophisticated business people, and it's a fun group of folks who work really hard, but laugh and have good times too. It's good stuff.
Your history as a farmer, so to speak, where does that come from, and how did you get involved in agriculture?
Sure. So I grew up in Jarrettsville, and we owned horses throughout my childhood. And just like Mr. Cassilly, I worked on a lot of friends' farms in high school, and I graduated from North Harford, so I knew a lot of people who lived on farms and was exposed to that at a young age. And I went away to college and earned my degree in agricultural science because I knew that I wanted to work in agriculture. I didn't know what it looked like, but I am so grateful that I found what I did for my career.
Talk to the young people a minute about agricultural science, because maybe there are kids out there who don't even know that that's a thing, and it's always been a thing, and it's a very sophisticated thing now, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many different aspects of if you want to make a career in agriculture, there's so many different avenues that you can take. You don't just have to be a farmer. There's engineering, there's conservation, there's agronomy, so that's crop science. There's so many different things that you can get into, so many niches, and I definitely encourage anyone who's interested to look into the North Harford Magnet Program. That would expose children to the wide variety of what is out there within agriculture, and show them that it's not just farming, it's so much more than that.
Sir, what do you think the future of farming is in Harford County down the road, from your perspective?
Yeah, I think it's alive and strong. The tech part is really a key, I think, as I see through a lot of the farmers. We have this great tech fair that's put on every year by the agricultural community, and they really bring out just how technology is able to allow Harford County to compete. You know, we don't have those massive, 1,000-acre farms like you have on some of the Eastern Shore. So our farmers have to be more adept, and it's fascinating to watch them leveraging the technology to stay competitive and to deliver. But I think it's critical for all of us as we look at food security, and agriculture is not just a nice industry to support. I think if there's one thing we ought to learn from the COVID period is that food security is a real issue, and that providing locally grown food, when supply lines break down, you got to eat. And we've got great food sources, and that's fruits, vegetables, beef, poultry, you name it. We've got it here in Harford County, and we can support that. And it's an industry that's not just nice to have, it's absolutely essential that we continue to support that and keep our ag sector alive and vibrant. And just delighted that the partners we have are an amazing group of farmers, young and old, male and female alike, and they're doing a heck of a job for us. I'm delighted.
Alyssia, has anything really surprised you about Harford County farming since you've immersed yourself full-time in this job? Has there been anything that's really surprised you that you really didn't know?
Absolutely. Like I said, there's always something interesting happening each and every day and something new to learn. My background is I worked for USDA prior to this position, and I worked out of York County, Pennsylvania, and it was a lot of corn and beans and beef. And when I came here, I was just so surprised to learn of the diversity of farming here in the county. There's so much more diversity here. There's so many different ways that people farm here, and it's not very cookie cutter here, and that really impresses me.
We've had debate over the warehouse, the big, huge 1 million square foot warehouses. We've had debate over land use, but you have really stuck to your guns, so to speak, about really supporting what's always been here, and that includes the farmers and the agricultural industry. Are you happy with the progression of things so far?
Yeah, this broadcast corresponds to, we're just a little over a year into my first term, the first year of my first term as county executive, and we've got an incredible ag advice group that I'm delighted to work with. They're moving forward. We've got to add in our own capability to process meat, and Alyssa's working with them as we move forward. That's a complex thing, but you have that large field full of beef cows, and it looks pretty, but unless you can process them, there's not much you can do with it. So that's one of our big goals here coming up, is to expand our local ability to process meat, so that the local resources can actually be consumed locally. And so but we're moving along strong. The Ag Advisory Board is a great group of folks, and I'm really excited. We look at the number of farms in Harford County that have been in business for over 100 years. What's their number there? We were
about 65.
About 65 farms.
That's a lot.
So yeah, that's amazing, and that doesn't include the guys who've been in business for 99 years. This is over 100 years.
Right.
So that's within the same family. So that's pretty impressive, and they're gung ho. They're ready to keep charging, and Alyssia and I are delighted to stand behind them and do what we can to make them as successful as they can be. So we're all excited.
So somebody calls you, Alyssia, somebody dumb like me, and says, tell me about farming in Harford County. I don't understand it. What's your 30-second spiel that you would give them to sell the agricultural business and byproducts in Harford County?
I would say that supporting our local farmers is critical in this day and age. I would say that by supporting our local farming community, we're supporting our families, we're supporting ourselves. The farms here in Harford County not only provide food security, but they provide family-friendly activities for families to gather on weekends. And just visit one of our breweries or visit one of our agritourism locations, and you'll see families with, you know, these pickup soccer games out in the field while the parents stand around and enjoy a beer and socialize. And it's an absolutely magical place to be, and it's a wonderful environment for us to raise our children and for our children to grow up in.
Agritourism, is that something that's on your radar to expand? I know that's always out there.
Yeah, you know, it's an important part of the local industry because, you know, the ag goes up and down. Prices can fluctuate, and our farmers need that economic stability. And there's disadvantages to being close to a large population when you're farmers, but there can also be it can also be a great asset. And so leveraging the proximity to population is important. And these ag tourism industries and locally grown initiatives provide our ag community with a much needed source of cash to weather those other challenges, and let them leverage every family member, their unique talents to help sustain the family business. So it's very important that we not just look at them as planting corn, but also producing locally fresh locally made ice cream and cheeses and the like. So yeah, that's important, and the beer.
And the beer.
And the beer.
Now, you're somebody who I know, Alyssia, looks forward to going into the office, so to speak. You probably really look forward to your job because you're connecting to people that you can really relate to.
That's right. Yes, absolutely.
What's the best part of your job, the very best, besides going to the farms?
The smell of fresh manure, right?
Yes. Maybe that's the second best.
Okay.
I would say that the best part of my job is that I'm working for people who prioritize family and hard work over all else, and it makes me feel good to help people who are doing it for the right reasons. They just want to be able to give the next generation the opportunity to farm here in our county, and that is in turn improving our county, and it's keeping it what it always has been, and it's very meaningful to me.
Well, we certainly appreciate both of you being on today, and Happy New Year to both of you. And it's great to know that farming is still really so important. And I had no idea it was the top industry, so to speak, and I think that's really great. Thank you, sir, very much for being here.
Good to see you
Alyssia,
again.
a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you.
And hopefully some folks out there will be thinking about farming after this show.
Great.
Really appreciate you both being on, and we appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much for watching Inside Harford County, airing exclusively on Harford TV. Please join us again next month for all the crew here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mark Vernarelli. Good night.